ReasonConf is brought to you by our gold sponsors Ahrefs and Strid.
Okay, so I'm Ulrik Strid. I'm at Strid at Discord and Ulrik Strid at Twitter and GitHub. I work at a company in Sweden called Zenit. So today I'm going to talk about doing multi-platform releases via Easy on NPM. And the high-level overview of how it works is that we create an NPM release for all platforms via Easy Release. And then we copy all of these into like one folder for all the platforms. We create a package JSON that we derive from your libraries package JSON. Then we copy over your README, your license, and the postinstall.js. And we also create like a placeholder that we can then replace for the correct platform binaries. And then we just pack it up for NPM and publish it. I'm using Azure Pipelines, and it's a CI/CD platform from Microsoft. It supports like all platforms, that is like Windows, Linux, and macOS in the same pipeline. So we don't have to have like Circle CI and I can't even remember what the other Windows CI/CD is. It's free for open source, and there's like 10,000 hours or something each month for closed source, so it's cheap. It has something called like jobs that you can either use to parallelize your tasks or use multi-platforms that I use mostly. They also have templates that let you split up your tasks into multiple files, so you can basically use them like functions. I created a small CLI tool called Wien that is a .env CLI replacement written in native Reason, so it's like 80 times faster in startup or something. Like 80 ms to 1 ms or something. It also have .env save functionality, so you can pass it like 2 files, one that has everything that you need to pass it, and multiple files that together pass the whole environment that you need, or it will fail. And I spent a lot of time polishing my CI/CD pipeline for this CLI. So, is this even readable? Maybe? Okay. So this is like the first part of my Azure pipeline setup. Yeah, so first we give it a name that's just visible in the list. It doesn't really matter. And then we declare what should trigger it. So it's any push to master or a tag will trigger it, and also peers against the master branch. And then we declare that we want to build for Linux, macOS, and Windows. Yeah. And then in the build platform template, we declare that we have some default parameters that we really don't use because we pass them every time. And then we give the job a name. So in this case, it will be like macOS or Linux. Yeah, and then there's a couple of steps. That is basically, we will use Node. We should install Easy globally. Then we run Easy install, Easy PC in my case, because I'm using PC to bootstrap it. We run Easy build, and then we create a docs with odocs. I will go into those templates a bit more as well. And then we run the tests, and we run Easy release, and then we publish the released folder. And the docs is using odoc. We have a special condition here because we only want to generate one set of docs, so we only run it on Linux because it's a known working configuration. Then we have this like really funky echo thing that you can see. That is just custom thing for Azure pipelines to save a variable in the runtime that we can later use. So in this case, we save where the documentation is, so we can later get it up with like the artifacts. I recently discovered that we can just use easy echo to make it a little bit better, but it's still a huge thing. So to run the tests, we just run easy test, and then we declare that we should continue even if the test fails, which might sound weird, but I will get back to that. And then we also generate JUnit that I implemented with the OCaml JUnit library and integrated with relay testing library. And when the test is done, we again have to save the path to where the JUnit file is. And then we export this with like a custom task in Azure Pipelines that will save the JUnit and gives a nice report. If we have time in the end, I can show you that report as well. Sadly, this isn't the whole story because the Windows thing is quite weird. So we have to add like a other condition that says if it's Windows, we will not use the saved path, but we will instead try to just find every JUnit.xml. For some reason, we can't find the JUnit.xml at the path we expect on Windows, and if we do the same thing that we do on Windows, on the other platforms, we will have multiple JUnit files, which is bad for the report. So then we go to when we're done with testing a build, we go to the release. And this just say that we will not do a release if this is a pull request, so only releases for master and tags. Yeah, so in this cross-release template, it's a really bad name, I realize. We just create a release directory. Whoops. And then we, like for each platform, do something with the release. Which is basically, we download the release we created for each platform in the build. And then we create a folder inside the main release folder, and then just copy it into that one. So now we're back in the cross-release script. And then I got lazy, so I just wrote a node script that will create a package JSON, copy the README and license files, and it also generate this crazy bash batch script. So it's runnable on both Windows and Linux and Mac. So if you don't have post install enabled in your npm, you need to have post install enabled if you try to run the command. But if you do have post install, we will replace it with a binary instead. And this is because we had like a JS script at first that did just this, but then npm is smart, so it tells you that this will run in Node, but you can't run a binary in Node, so then you get failure. At least on Windows, that was the case. And after that, we just run npm pack in the release folder that has all the 3 releases and our extra files that we just copied. And then we publish that folder as an artifact. And then as the last part of the Azure pipeline, if I tag a commit, it will, for each platform, download the artifact that has like the full release, install it on every platform, and try to run the script. And that looks just like this. So we download it, npm install, and try to run it and see that it doesn't fail. And that's it.